Welcome to another edition of Positions of Strength. And in this short series of videos I'm doing, I'm highlighting some positions of strength, and then also I'll do some positions of concern in terms of Texas Tech's roster for the 2024 season. I've already touched on or did a video on the inside linebackers. It's a group I really feel strongly about. It's going to be a strength for Texas Tech. But there's another position, and I think this may come as a surprise to some. Those of you on Inside the Red Raiders or have listened on the Rock and Pregame have heard me talk several times and say, I really like the tight end room for Texas Tech this year. It's a controversial position because one question I get year in and year out in the offseason is, will Texas Tech upgrade or utilize their tight ends more than they did the season before? And I actually thought they utilized the tight ends well last year, especially for the offense it had overall. They were a significant factor in the running game. They caught, I believe, 8 touchdowns, either 6 or 8 touchdowns last year, which Tech's passing game struggled in terms of for Texas Tech last year. And touched in almost every metric compared to what we're used to with Texas Tech, which is a high bar. We have to admit that. But I do think the tight end room could even be better this year than last year, and it was pretty dang good last year. Let's start with Mason Tharp, who returns. The dude's basically Shaq in terms of size now, not really, but almost. I think he's like 6'9", 270. Had a very good spring, the second consecutive spring, where he's showed a lot of improvement, performed at a very high level, and the coaches have just raved about him. I saw in the spring game him catch one pass, and nobody wants a part of a 6'9", 275-pound dude who could run and move and everything. He caught a little hitch pass for 7 or 8 yards and then rumbled upfield for another 15, 20 as good defenders who weren't scared. I mean, they looked a little scared, but I mean, they stuck their nose in there and just bounced right off of him until 3 or 4 guys got him to the ground. I think he could be a real threat. And I think he's improved as a run blocker, too. The key for him, of course, will be, can he stay healthy? He had some concussion issues, and that could happen to anybody. And those are scary, let's be honest. So I'm really hoping, knock on wood, of course, for Mason Tharp and for Texas Tech that he's able to stay healthy next season. Because if so, I think he'll put up a monster year. Now, he's not alone. There's a reason why this is a position group of strength in my mind for Texas Tech. Jaylen Connor's transferred in from Arizona State. Another big target, very good receiver. I think he can help you as an inline blocker as well. He's definitely got the size for it. But he's the kind of guy, I mean, they put him in the Wildcat for Arizona State at quarterback. And I saw him run for rip off a couple of long runs, score a long touchdown against good competition. So Conyers is quite the athlete, former 5-star, high 4-star and 5-star recruit who originally went to Oklahoma, then Arizona State. And now he's a Panhandle dude, West Texas guy. So in terms of where he grew up, and now he's back in West Texas at Texas Tech. Now he broke his foot in freak accident in winter conditioning drills. But he's expected to be 100%. He may already be back 100%, but definitely by fall camp in the season. Jason Llewellyn's another guy who transferred in from Oklahoma, former 4-star recruit. I think he went to Aledo, which is a great program. I don't know how many Aledo games I covered throughout the years, but I don't know how many state championships they've won at this point either. But a lot of rings, and they produce a lot of Division I talent. And so Jason Llewellyn. He's listed as 6'5", 255 pounds. Obviously, has a lot of potential where he wouldn't have been a 4-star recruit who ended up at Oklahoma. So adding him to the mix is great. Now, the next guy is kind of a wild card for me in terms of this season. I definitely think next year is going to be a big factor. But John Carlos Miller transferred in, 6'5", 245 pounds. Caught a nice touchdown pass in the spring game. And he looks the part. He was one of the first guys when I went to spring ball. And that's saying something nowadays at Texas Tech. Back in the day, maybe not so much. But nowadays, they have the horses and the beasts and in numbers in terms of having the right look. First guy off the bus kind of thing. John Carlos Miller was the first guy. I was like, who is this guy? I saw him run a route. Very athletic, nice speed, obviously good size, good hands. He can really be a player for Texas Tech. Maybe, probably this year, but if not, definitely next season. Really interesting dude to interview too. I like his personality. He's just a different kind of dude, but in an interesting, good way. And then finally, Trey Jackson. And there's other tight ends on the roster, but these are the main guys, scholarship guys in the mix. Trey Jackson, 6'5", 220-pound freshman from South Oak Cliff, which is near and dear to my heart because my dad was in his Uncle Rico days, way before Uncle Rico, was a all-state defensive lineman at South Oak Cliff. So, we'll always follow what the Golden Bears are doing. Of course, they've been ripping off state championships here recently. But Trey Jackson looked the part in spring ball. I believe he caught a touchdown as well. If not, then it was a long pass. Very fluid athlete at his size. He looks like a basketball player with physicality out there. So I think he has a bright future. Of course, you got to hope he stays in the program and all that. But he might get a look this year. He's got a lot of competition to get past, but one or two injuries, and all of a sudden Trey Jackson's going to be out there, and they're going to need him to make some plays because I do think the tight end is going to be utilized in both the running game as blockers, the tip of the spear kind of thing. There's a lot of pulling and moving around the formation to lead the way for Taj and the other running backs. But I also do think they're too good at targets, receiving targets, to not be utilized. So I think they're going to play a big part, and I think they're a huge position of strength for Texas Tech next season. So with that, I want to thank you for watching, and until next time.